Koko Nikosi, Alo Komi Keshito.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines, review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. You're welcome to the news review. Right here, we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news. From business to politics, from sports to entertainment, we got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. My name is Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be doing this morning with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. We are serving you breakfast. We are bringing you all the relevant stories. We are bringing you all the news stories that you need to know. What is on the news, what people are saying, and they're also going to give you their opinions. Remember that we are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X on Ghana Talks Radio. Do also log on, send in your comments. We'll read them and let us know what you also think on the issue we are discussing. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Miss Debbie. How are you doing?
The grace is sufficient.
We thank God. Miss Regina?
I'm good. Do you?
I'm good. Yesterday, was it doom or so? Yesterday in the evening when you go home?
I had light.
You had light throughout the night. This morning as well.
Yes.
What about you, Miss Regina?
I had.
You had light.
I'm on my estate.
Oh. Yeah, Simo. Yesterday was doom for us. I think they put it on somewhere around midnight, almost dawn. Yeah, Simo. I wonder if the transformers they are changing, if they are changing it at that time as well. But we are just hoping that they've given us 3 months. 3 months now. And once it gets there, if there's light out, they should come and look for another excuse to give us. But all the same, we are asking ECG if it will be possible. They should give us timetable. Because yesterday, a business owner, I think I saw it on Facebook. She prepared juice. She had to she had to throw them away because it couldn't freeze. She couldn't preserve them. People are actually losing money, and I believe those running coastal services are also losing money. Hairdressers are also losing money. Obia washing it or shed dryer more. Yama light out. Yeah. So in as much as you are doing maintenance, if it will be possible, give us a timetable so that we know how to go about our businesses as well. Thank you so much. Right, at this juncture, let's delve into our news items for this morning. Start creating your own jobs. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bwedi Abwaje, is urging tertiary students to begin creating their own jobs even before they graduate. Speaking at a recent economic forum, he warned that the formal sector alone cannot absorb the growing number of graduates entering the job market each year. According to him, youth unemployment remains a major national concern, with an estimated 1.4 million young people currently searching for jobs without success. Mr. Bedu Abuaje noted that government employment accounts for only a small percentage of jobs, stressing that meaningful job creation would depend largely on the growth of the private sector. He explained that Ghana produces more than 200,000 graduates annually, far exceeding the number of available job opportunities. He is therefore encouraging students to shift their mindset towards entrepreneurship rather than relying solely on traditional employment pathways. The GNCCI CEO also revealed that the chamber is implementing initiatives to support this transition, including the establishment of junior chambers in universities to equip students with entrepreneurial skills. These programs are already underway at institutions such as the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, University of Ghana, and the University of Mines and Technology, with plans to expand further. He emphasized that while students often have innovative ideas, mentorship and structured support are critical to turning those ideas into viable businesses. So this is what Mr. Abuaje is urging all graduates, all students, especially those in the tertiary level, that before you even graduate, please create a job for yourself, because as it stands now, it's just a little percentage of government employment that is actually employing people. And annually, Ghana has a student of about 200,000 graduating every year. And these people are searching for jobs. They're not getting jobs. And as it stands now, the unemployment rate is estimated at 1.4 million young people currently searching for jobs, and they are not getting. So he's urging all graduates, or even before you graduate, and all students, that before you graduate, at least have some entrepreneurial skills, have something you can do with your fingers, with your hands, with your brain. This is what he's urging all students to actually do. Mind you that you don't have to always sit and wait for somebody to give you a job, or wait for the government to give you a job, in as much as it's also a responsibility of the government to also play it. But as it stands now, you have to do it for yourself. I believe you wouldn't want to sit there and be broke. So please, Miss Debbie, what do you make of his suggestion? Do you think that entrepreneurship is the real solution of unemployment in this country?
Of course.
Right.
It is. So I totally agree with Mr. Bedu, because he's trying to tell students the realities on ground.
On ground.
So, I mean, when you're in school, the only thought that comes in mind is for you to graduate and then get employed. Like, immediately you get enrolled in school, your mindsetting about job employment doesn't really give you this notion that people are out there and they are not getting employed. Even if you hear it on news or in the news that, I mean, graduates are protesting because they need to be employed, you don't really see it to be something that is urgent, because you don't really feel it. You feel like immediately you finish, there will be an opportunity somewhere. The grace of God will be sufficient enough for you to get employed. But immediately you get to level 400, and then you are almost completing or getting done with your education. That is when the reality sets in. That is when you get to know that no, this is basically serious, and then you need that job. I mean, you wouldn't go to school to complete and then become useless. Everyone goes to school because they know that there is future, and there is something profitable in you attaining that certificate.
Exactly.
But what becomes of it when you attain that certificate, then it doesn't bring you the needed joy that you want. And so creating job is something that needs to be, I think it should be part of even the courses we learn in school. It should be compulsory, just like the way we have maths. Level 100 I did maths, level 200 I did maths. It should be something that is compulsory, that you will learn. You should bring something on board. What do you want to do? Maybe you want to venture into business, you want to do this, you want to do that. You bring it on board, and then they teach you how to go about it. Lecturers wouldn't tell you the raw facts on ground. Even with the course you are studying, sometimes the lecturers do not tell you how it feels like unless you are on the field. And sometimes you get to have a bit of it when you are even doing your attachment. So it tells you how it feels like when you are done with school. It gives you like a clear picture of everything about you being done with school, you getting employment and all that. And even with the attachment, if your school doesn't have a link with these companies, big companies, or some companies, and you are supposed to write a letter to this company to yourself to offer your attachment or whatever it is very, very difficult. If with that you have to know someone. So I feel like this is a good call. Before you complete school, you should have something in mind. Everyone has a skill. Now you don't even have to do home economics in school. With your phone, YouTube, you can learn a lot of things on social media. You can even learn how to sew. You can learn how to bake. You can learn how to even leather sandals. You can learn a whole lot. See, you see this thing, I don't know whether you've done it before, crocheting. People are doing it, and then they are making good use of it, and they are earning a handsome amount of money.
A reasonable amount
of
money.
Sometimes these small things we downplay it, but it's fetching people money. Hairdressing, how to braid. I remember when I was at the university, at times I used to braid my own hair. All that you need to do is that after you are done washing, you let the hairdresser or you line need 2 more. Then when you come home, like you braid it yourself, or you get a colleague help you, and then you do it. You can do it. There is nothing you cannot do unless you've already made up your mind. It's entrepreneurship. You don't just want to venture into it and then you want a white collar job. But this is the reality on ground. The white collar job is limited. The spaces are not enough. It is choked. So if you don't get yourself something to do, at the end of the day, you become a liability yourself. And even with the white collar jobs, we have people that are into this white collar jobs and they still have side hustle. They have side business. People are into sobolo making. People are into, and you don't know because watermelon doing essay. I'm not trying to laugh at her, but it is her own business and she's making money out of it. A month you might get an order like 20, and out of that 20 orders, you'll be making like 50,000, 5,000, or maybe 2,000 in a week. And that is someone's salary in a month. So the main reason why they are pushing all this is that even your monthly salary, you will save it for something better. If you want to rely on the monthly salary, even before it comes, the money is already finished.
It's finished.
So this is very, very important. I think the sensitization is also needed. We need to be educated. That notion that when you are doing your own business, it means or it means that you are not good enough, you are not intelligent. It's a lie. We claim that they are not intelligent, but they are making more money. You go to them to borrow. What makes it unintelligent? They are very, very intelligent. So the best thing is that we educate this yet to graduate students that they need to engage in something. And I feel like it shouldn't be limited to only the universities. It should be done from even primary level, from P6, JHS to senior high school to the tertiary level. It should be made compulsory so that everybody will get to know that entrepreneurship is very, very necessary. And even if it's taught, entrepreneurship is being taught.
Yeah, it's being taught
in the universities.
In the universities. I think that misconception, we have to come to that point that we need to clear that misconception. That if you are doing entrepreneurship, it's because maybe you have bad grades or you didn't do well in school. That is why you decided to venture into a skill or venture into a business. That perception, we need to clear it. It's not all about white collar job. It's not all about sitting in the office. Those that are sitting in the office 9 to 5, they only get rich once in a month. After the first week of the of the month,
most of them are in debt.
That money is done. Right, Miss Regina.
So with the GNCCI CEO telling students, or let me put it as a whole, the youth, advising them to start creating their own job, it is understandable, and it is a step in the right direction, in the sense that looking at our workforce these days, everyone is depending on the government, and everyone is depending on especially some of these private sectors to own, or to at least get something small to be feeding on. When it comes to white collar jobs, the only nice thing about it is sitting in the office, enjoying the AC, and at the end of the month you get your salary, and that is it. There's nothing attractive when it comes to it. There are some offices which do not even prioritize the mental health of these workers. And when we talk of office space, it needs to be very healthy. It shouldn't be toxic, but I would say when you go to the corporate world, it is very toxic, very, very toxic. So just imagine you own your own business. You control everything. You know how you want things to be. You know how you want things to run. So at the end of the day, you are creating a healthy space for even the future people you would employ. So 95, creating your own job is a very good thing, and we would urge every youth. I always say that if I knew that this is how the corporate world would have been, I wouldn't have wasted a lot of money in furthering. It is good to further your education. Education is good. It's good to be abreast with issues, but that doesn't mean that when you're educated automatically things would move on well with you. So they need to create their own job. For that, it's a fact. If they are waiting on the government,
With the issue of the misconception that I actually spoke about, I actually think the entrepreneurs are the most intelligent people, because they are their own accountants, they are their own marketing directors, they are their own managers. They are basically doing everybody's job in one person. So you look at such a person in a well-established business, even if it is a food joint, and you look at that person and tell that person that's because you didn't go to school or whatsoever, that is why you find yourself in such a situation. I think that's misconception. We need to clear it. And as my ladies have already stated, it's good to create your own business. You create a healthy space for your own self. You work when you want to work. Nobody, you work when you feel like working, but not somebody, as a like in Shesose will be in control, say do this, and you are managing your own business and you know how you want it to actually go. Right, let's proceed. Ghana must strengthen local production ahead of IMF exit. The Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries said Chum Akwabwa is urging government to strengthen local production as Ghana prepares towards its program with the International Monetary Fund. Speaking at a recent economic forum, he cautioned that while Ghana has achieved some level of macroeconomic stability and improved investor confidence, the country must tread carefully to sustain these gains beyond the IMF program. Mr. Chum warned that the exit could introduce new uncertainties, making it critical for policymakers to maintain confidence in the economy. He emphasized the need for a deliberate shift towards import substitution and increase local production, arguing that Ghana's heavy reliance on imports leaves it vulnerable to global economic shocks. According to him, strengthening domestic industries will help reduce exposure to external pressures and support long-term economic resilience. The IGI CEO also highlighted access to affordable long-term financing as a major constraint facing Ghana's industrial sector. He pointed to institutions such as the Ghana Exim Bank, Development Bank Ghana, and the National Investment Bank, calling for a review for their lending portfolios to ensure more support is directed towards productive industries. He further urged that interest rates offered by development finance institutions should reflect current market conditions, especially as commercial lending rates begin to decline. Mr. Chum maintained that aligning financing with industry needs will be key to driving growth, boosting local production, and safeguarding Ghana's economic recovery in the post-IMF era. So this is coming from another brain, the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries. And this time around, he is suggesting to the government that Ghana must strengthen local production ahead of IMF exit. I believe we've all heard from the president that very soon Ghana will be exiting for IMF. But before we do that, AGICO is saying that before we do that, we should reduce our level of imports. We should improve and strengthen our local production, whereas we can actually do it very well and also export these products outside to be able to also generate some sort of revenue for the government. It's not always that we should be, important. When it happens like that, it really hurts us a lot. So this is what he's urging the government. Ms. Regina, do you agree with his submission?
Yeah, so it's just like someone wanting to stop smoking, and at the end of the day, when it comes to quitting smoking, you need to make sure that you you do away with all those materials. But in as much as you are serious about it, you still have those materials around you. You be tempted to go in for it. So with government wanting to exit IMF, it will be very difficult because financially we are not stable.
You believe we can't exit?
Oh, we can, but it's very difficult. It's just like you battling an addiction. The edge would be there that, oh, let me go back to it. But with self-discipline and maybe day in and day out activities, you can quit it. You get me? So with the IMF, it will be very difficult for them to quit. It might get to a point where they might be tempted to go back because of what we would face. But looking at local production would save us from a lot. First off, when we look at production, it reduces dependence on imports. Ghana, we literally import everything into this country. Last 2 years, I never knew, say, Yemadie, Tao.
How did they go?
Tribe. I never knew that they had to import that thing into the country. I was like, that thing, don't they get it from, is it goat?
Cow.
Say cow.
No,
cow. Goat.
Goat and cow,
Yeah.
They get it. Oh, Ghana, yeah, mobile. Honestly, we yeah, mobile. Toothpick. We have trees. We are not saying now go and cut down the trees, but they have a specific tree that they use in toothpicks. Clothes.
Bamboo. Is it bamboo?
Bamboo tree. Clothes. Force. Second hand. Somebody's dress. That is what they'll go and bring from these people's country and bring it. And that's what we are wearing.
We are all wearing it.
We are all. Boutique for Numpono.
That one too.
Yes, I saw a video. I don't know if you normally follow this Western countries, their videos. They sometimes even with this iPhone or bra Otumiko Jato. So they have a spot where they gather all these home used machines, those kitchen materials.
Yeah.
Then these people will bring it back into the country for us to use.
Even car. Home use stove.
Yeah.
Oh. Now me I thought that who deep freezer. When I'm saying deep freezer, we say they found mortuary dead bodies. How would you know?
Exactly.
Then you bring it to the country for us to use. So with the local production, it will reduce a lot of these things, and also it will create job for the citizens, because if the demand for these goods are very high, automatically production would go on. And production means that you need more hands on board.
Yeah.
And also I feel like industrial development will really go on in our country, because we are focused on locally produced goods. In Ghana here, we do not have a lot of machines. When it comes to machine to produce certain things, we don't have it. Even with the farmers, they don't have a lot of things that would ease their workload. They always have to use manpower. And at the end of the day, they are exhausted. And the energy I put in, no so much charge. Now, at the end of the day, we will say and complain that it's very expensive. And also, it will strengthen the economy. We would have national income. The government will also have their revenue and also business growth. And when it comes to the local production, I think they also need to check the taxes they might put on it, because if the taxes is very expensive, automatically the business will go down, because these people will find difficulty in paying some of these taxes. And also it will protect Ghana from global shock. This is the most important of it. Let's use Iran's war for example. At the end of the day, we are facing full challenges. Imagine we had our own so I didn't pay for anything. We have our own baby ammonia oil free, no? Is it in water?
Refinery.
Like how they get the oil straight from the source.
Yeah, they extract.
So let's just imagine we have that in our country where we get it straight from the source. We wouldn't be worried when it comes to Iran's war, because we know that we are getting it right in our country. But now we are facing it because there is war there, and they are having issues. Even with the person who would even go for it is another headache. So protecting global shock, your friend is developing industrial development, creating jobs, and also it strengthens the economy. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Miss Gina. Mr. B, do you think that we can live without IMF?
Of course,
Right.
we can live without IMF. I believe if you set your mind to do something and you are determined, you will achieve it. You will not achieve it only if you set you've pointed it out to do it, and then your mind is not ready to cooperate with what you want to do. So for me, exiting IMF, I see it as a very big tax, risky as well, because that means that even if we are going through financial crisis, we still need to stand by our word. And I believe we can do it. There is nothing we can do. We have everything to sustain us as a country. And I believe this is one of the toughest decisions this government has made. Now, this means that we need to strengthen, what's the name? Private, is it private? Yes, we need to strengthen the private sectors. Because the government sector alone cannot help out. When we strengthen the private sector, when we look at the industry we have in Ghana, and then production wise, 99% of it is coming from the private sector more than the government sector. So when we support the private sector, automatically we are supporting the private sector, which is also local, because we have our own people who have industries in this country, not necessarily people from other countries coming in to say their own business. We have a local industry as well. So it means we are going to support this private sectors financially, most especially the local industries. So the local industries that belong to our own people, we support them financially. If you listen to this financiers talking and people who are so into business, they'll tell you that if you want a country that has succeeded, or you are looking up to a country that is standing firmly or firmly grounded in their economy, pay attention to their private sectors. Most of this development, or most of all these things that contributed to the development of the economy is mostly based on the private sector or the private industry. So when we support a local industry financially, automatically we are going to expand local production. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When we support the private sector, local private industry, we are going to expand production. And as well, we need to sustain investor confidence. Now, if you listen to what he stated there, he said, looking at how the government is treaded with the whole thing about our economy, it is drawing in investors. And little by little, these investors are gaining confidence in the government. So if we are exiting IMF, the investors will be looking up to us with this notion that how well are we going to survive? Because trust me, no one will come and invest in your country and then having it in mind that they are going to run at loss. And we all know that a lot of countries are being sustained by IMF. So if we, for the past years, we were sustained by IMF, and as it stands now, we are leaving the shelter, or we are drawing ourselves or disassociating ourselves from IMF, then our investors are also going to look up to us and then see whether we can really make it. So if that is the case, with how we've started, we need to continue with that to sustain the trust of these investors, because when we sustain their trust, they are going to invest more into our country, and that is going to help us. But if we don't, then it's going to bring a whole lot of chaos. And then with the imports, when we support our local industry, definitely there's going to be more production, and we'll export more than import into the country.
Right.
And one of the things that affects us the more is importing. So if we are to export more of our goods, it's going to help us a lot. It means we are going to sell out our products out there. Most of 99% of the interest we are going to make will be retained in this country, and then it's not going to, we are not going to share it with other countries. And then he stated something there as well. The banks, are they ready to lend loans for these people on long term?
Exactly.
Because if you look at our banks, they don't lend loan to people on long term, and then the interest
will chase you.
The interest is too much.
It's too much.
I'm borrowing like 2,000, and then if by 2 days I've not paid, by 1 month I'm paying like 2,000 plus of what I've borrowed.
Plus what you borrowed.
You get it? When it happens like that, it makes business, transacting business and all that so difficult.
Very difficult.
So we need to look at the banks that are ready to lend money to these local industries on a long term with lower interest.
And this is going to provide more jobs for the people as well. All right, thank you so much, Mr. B. Let's proceed to our last news story. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdul Jinapor, has outlined ongoing reforms in Ghana's power sector while assuring the public of efforts to restore stable electricity supply following recent disruptions. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, he attributed the outages to technical challenges at the Akosombo substation, noting that engineers are working to resolve the issues. According to the minister, the sector inherited a generation deficit of over 700 megawatts in late 2024, but coordinated interventions across the value chain have since improved stability. He explained that improved payment schedules to independent power producers have restored confidence, while fuel supply, particularly gas delivery from the 10 oil field, Jubilee oil field and N-Gas has been stabilized. On distribution, the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company have improved revenue collection, enhancing their ability to maintain and expand infrastructure. Despite these gains, Mr. Jinapor acknowledged persistent challenges, including aging and overloaded transformers, contributing to low voltage and intermittent outages. To address this, government has launched a nationwide transformer upgrade and replacement program with over 200 transformers already installed in April and more expected in the coming weeks. In total, more than 205 more than 2,500 transformers are expected to be deployed across the country this year. He added that high-capacity transformers are being installed at key supply points, while the Ghana Grid Company is set to begin transmission reinforcement works in Kumasi in June. The minister also noted the Scient Energy Limited is supporting efforts to boost generation capacity, particularly in the Ashanti region. He assured Ghanaians that despite recent disruption, measures are in place to restore and sustain reliable power supply nationwide. So during the government accountability series yesterday, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition actually outlined some of the reforms that are actually going on in our energy sector, and 2,500 transformers are expected to be changed across the country, and they've already started in Kumasi. So the outages, they are expected to happen. Ms. Debbie, should we comply with the government? One question one may ask was that when they came into power newly, I think in 2025 last year, we were not experiencing these problems.
Yeah.
So at what point did they actually realize that the transformers had issues and they had to change them?
Well, this is kind of tough and kind of difficult to comprehend with, but we all know that even before the beginning of this year, we saw, fire outbreaks in a lot of places, and I'm sure this might be one, because before this doom sort of a thing became so intense, there was a fire outbreak at Akosombo, and the energy minister said it's led to should I say destruction or the damage? Yes, that's the right word. The damage of some important machines that led to the dooms of a thing. But I've also heard people saying that is not an excuse. That shouldn't be an excuse. But we all saw what happened. Now looking at this whole thing of doom and it's becoming something else, because imagine your first time in government. We experienced doom. I'm not saying that the previous administration we didn't experience something like that. We did. And then yes, and then we are still experiencing it. Yesterday I came across an interview where one person was saying that, that is the legacy of the NDC government, that anytime they come into power there is doomsday and all that. But let's not forget that doomsday cannot happen when there is no challenges, right? We cannot experience doomsday and then we will just have it in mind that like it is doomsday just like that. I believe that there are some certain challenges that we don't know, and then he has made it clear that is because of some transformers are worn out and they will need to change it. And then they started with that even before the fire outbreak issue. So it looks like the fire outbreak worsened the whole thing. Made it we all know that we extract light or power mainly from Akosombo. So if the main powerhouse that is embodying all of us, or that has become a source to the whole country, has a main challenge, then it means that we are all going to be affected. But you see, we are just pleading that this wouldn't last for so long. At least, so was it 3 months, right? 3 months they are there, but so although like a mutual, but they are there. But so one thing I like about the energy minister and the government is that day in, day out, they brief us on what is going on. Yesterday, even the Minister of Energy apologized to the whole country. I don't know whether you saw that. When he was in a press briefing, he apologized to the whole country that it's not intentional. It's something that they never expected, but we found ourselves in it. They're working towards it. And he even acknowledged and assured us that Gridco, together with Netco, together with all the people that are sold into this whole issue, are working so hard in fact, tirelessly to ensure that we have light. But we just hope that after this 3 months, we don't experience such incident again.
For long hours.
For me, he shouldn't have given any timeline, because with this 3 months he has given,
after 3 months, if we experience it again,
that is going to be worse off.
Well,
that is
we'll
going to
hold
be worse.
them accountable.
But one thing they should also pin down is that whatever is this cause, we should try our possible best that it never happens again. What is causing this fire outbreak? We need to check
it. Miss Regina, 3 months to change transformers. Don't you think the governments can be considerate enough to at least schedule a timetable for the places that will go off? Don't you think?
Okay, so that's the least they can do. 3 months. Okay. So I in fact I feel like the timetable wouldn't help, because since it's something random, almost and you wouldn't know where the fault would come from. So let's say even if they tell you that 6 o'clock from 10 p.m. you would have light, from 10 p.m. to the next day you wouldn't have light. It might change, and we'll be the same people to complain. And this should be a wake-up call to the government, in fact to all the institutions. You don't have to wait for a tragedy to happen before you know that you have to do something called maintenance. Maintenance is very important. If they had gone for maintenance frequency, they would have known that there's a fault somewhere. They would have fixed it, and this whole issue wouldn't be here. Now, even if you are using your phone, you have to do plug and use, because you don't know the time they'll take the lights. Yesterday, the moment I got to my house to iron, because I want to avoid stories.
That's very good. As she said, she ironed. So as it stands now, if possible, do bulk ironing. Pick out the clothes you were wearing the whole week and iron them and hang them. Because as it stands now, you don't know when the light will go off, and you don't know when it will come back. Right. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we leave, you have a comment on Facebook, and this is from Joshua Isiedu. He says, "Good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Joshua, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show." At this juncture, we'll go for Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you today in history on this day, the Port Franqui incident. The incident, approximately 43 Ghanaian soldiers under the UN operation in the Congo were massacred by rogue elements of the Congolese National Army. Looking at its context, the incident was a response to an incident on April 27, 1961, when the Congolese Interior Minister visiting Port Franqui threatened to disarm the local ANC troops using UN forces due to ethnic tensions in the region. The attack on April 28th, ANC troops feeling under threat, launched a surprise attack on the scattered, under-equipped 90-man Ghanaian garrison. Beyond the 43 Ghanaians killed or drowned while attempting to escape, the incident involved the murder of 3 Swedish and 2 British officers, 47 total UN personnel killed. Ghana Armed Forces observes April 28th as Port Franqui Day to remember the victims. Moving on, 1967, Muhammad Ali refuses army induction. Muhammad Ali refused induction into the U.S. Army at the height of his career, citing religious beliefs as a Muslim and conscientious objection to the Vietnam War. Declaring, "I ain't got no quarrel with them, Viet Cong," he was stripped of his heavyweight title, banned from boxing for 3 years, and convicted of draft evasion. To some few global observances, Biological Clock Day, to raise awareness about the body's internal 24-hour cycle or circadian rhythm, which regulates sleep, hormones, and metabolism. It encourages maintaining a healthy, consistent routine to align with this natural rhythm and improve overall wellness. Brave Heart Day, to honor the courage of children and families dealing with pediatric cancer, founded to raise awareness and support for those navigating this diagnosis. The day encourages solidarity and offers resources, including the Spotlight Hope app, to help families find support. World Day for Safety and Health at Work, promoting occupational health and safety in different workplaces around the world, initiated by International Labour Organization. This campaign aims at raising awareness to prevent occupational accidents and diseases. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for Today in History and some observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear or favor. A former Supreme Court Justice, Williams Atuguba, has criticized what he describes as deep partisan entrenchment in Ghana, warning that excessive political loyalty is clouding judgment and preventing many citizens from honestly assessing national issues. Speaking in an interview, Justice Atuguba said the country's intense political divisions have created an environment where many people evaluate every development through party interest rather than national good. Immersing yourself in politics is useless. It's not helpful. It blinds your eyes and judgment to realities, he said. According to the retired judge, the problem has become structural and continues to shape public discourse, making it difficult for people to acknowledge positive development or criticize failures objectively. He said as long as party alignment remains strong in Ghana, genuine balance in public debate will remain elusive. In his view, politicians, commentators, and ordinary citizens often struggle to give credit where it is due or speak honestly where criticism is necessary. Justice Atuguba cited recent appreciation of the cedi as an example. He noted that although some Ghanaians have benefited from the stronger currency through improved purchasing power and easing prices, others appear reluctant to publicly acknowledge it because doing so may seem as supporting the governing administration. The former Supreme Court judge urged citizens to rise above party loyalties and demand what is right regardless of which political party is in office. He called for a national mindset focused more on accountability and progress than partisan advantage. Justice Atuguba also said his concern was personal, stressing that the direction of the country affects everyone. So this is from the former Supreme Court judge, Justice Atuguba. Now he says politics has blindfolded us as Ghanaians. And he's right. He's right because, sometimes government comes into power and then they're doing the right thing. And instead of us to appreciate the government for what he is doing, we end up politicizing it and then viewing the good deeds of the government with a political lens. So instead of appreciating the government for what the government has done or the initiative the government has taken to improve the nature of the country or the well-being of the country, we tend to criticize the government from our own perspective with a political lens. And this is what is going on, especially with the communicators of these various political parties. When you are discussing issues that do not even need to be buttressed with politics, you will see them, talking to that issue with a political lens. They end up finding pointing out to a negative point from what the government is doing, even if what the government is doing has no spot of negativity. They will find a way to paint it with their negative words. Why? Because we see politics to be everything. The fact that you are representing a political party, you speak on behalf of that political party, doesn't mean that when the government is doing the right thing, you don't speak about it. And then he gave an example, and that has to do with the stabilization of the cedi to the dollar and the economy moving in the right direction. Now, we experienced the previous government and other administrations, and then we were made to believe that there is no way the cedi to the dollar can get stabilized. We were made to believe that the economy cannot move on its own. We will have to be reliant on other countries to survive. That is what we're being made to believe. But when this government came on board, they tried to change the narrative. They tried changing the status quo that, see, we can do something else. Ghana can develop on its own without relying on other countries. The cedi to the dollar can get stabilized. Prices of goods and services can reduce. We have means to convince people, and they did it. And I remember when the cedi to the dollar got stabilized, we had a lot of comments from politicians. Even when the current administration needs to be credited, they were not given the necessary applause because they feel like, no, you didn't do it. We've seen comments where people were saying that, oh, what the government did is nothing new, and that they started it during their administration. So if we need to give accolade to this government, then we also need to give accolade to the previous administration because they started it first. This is not about who started it and who is completing it. The fact is that what needs to be done has been done, so you just need to give credit out. But no, issues that needs fair play, issues that needs to be talked about without politics, with fairness, without bias, you don't get to see it. Every issue we have to buttress it with politics, just because we want to be identified as the most good communicator for this particular political party. Oh yes, I need to say this so that at the end of the day I'll get something. But you see, there are issues that needs to be talked about as it is. We don't need to add politics to it. No, we don't. And you see, we will keep using this example. We wouldn't stop using this example. The former president, John Ajekum Kufuor, started with a project. And then our late president, may he so rest in peace, Evans Fifi Atamels, completed the project. And after he completed the project, he called on to the former president. You started it. As simple as ABC. He gave credit to whom credit is due. That is simple. But we will not do it. Oh, it was my government that started it. Your government just came to add up some two things, so why should we give you the credit? And that is why we keep marking time. We always see the wrong side of things instead of seeing the positive aspect. No, because of politics. And I'm not going to limit this to any political party. All political parties are involved, including the NDC and the NPP. The NDC will never see anything positive with the NPP, and so as to the NPP. The NPP will never see anything positive with the NDC. And so even if the NDC is doing something right, NPP see it as rubbish. And if the NPP is doing something right, NDC also see it as something else. And so they will never speak to the fact, they will never speak to the truth. And you see, sometimes it's funny when you see journalists laughing to some comment from politicians or nodding to what you say. Sometimes the nod doesn't always mean that you are making sense. Sometimes the nodding means that you are making a fool out of yourself as a politician or as a communicator for your party. Because even a layman that is not into politics know that whatever you are trying to buttress with politics does not make sense. This is the truth. MPP, when MPP came on board, this is what they did. We applaud them. It is good. They'll always not get it right. And that is it. If you don't get it right, we will bash you. That one, they forget it. But when you do the right thing, we will give you the necessary accolade because you deserve it. And that is what all politicians are supposed to see. Not every issue needs a political lens. Some issues need to be seen with, a normal, clear view. Without putting on anything to, confuse your view or what you are trying to picture. No, not at all. And you see, sometimes, journalists are so, so I'm trying to get this word right, but I'm not tricky. Thank you. I'm taking myself. Journalists are tricky. See, sometimes they bring up topics, and then they know that this topic does not need to be viewed with politics. But immediately the person starts talking, you know that, what say no. And that is not it. When we continue like this, there is no way we are going to forge forward as one people for the betterment of this country. Because if we want to talk on all issues with political lens, then trust me, we are getting nowhere. So please, if there is the need to talk on an issue with a political lens, let it be so. And if there is a need to talk to an issue that needs a fair perspective without bias, without hitting on any political party, let it be so. Because at the end, we are all forging forward for one Ghana, not only one Ghana, but the betterment of the country. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's.
Thank you so much, Ms. Debbie, for that, girl. And thank you, too, for joining us on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly. Please stick and stay with us.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bliss.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, Minerals Commission defense revocation of Adamus Resources mining lease as decisive move in national interest. Prisia Youth and ex-member of parliament rally to save Heat Goldfield mine. Minister of Energy report major damage to Akosombo control room after fire outbreak. Also coming up in the news, Afajato South rice farmers lament poor sales, appealing for market intervention. Ashanti Health Directorate ramps up malaria fight, targeting children under 5 and pregnant women. These and many more coming up your way shortly in business, sports, and showbiz. The Minerals Commission has pushed back forcefully against Adamos Resources Limited following the company's criticism of the state's decision to revoke its mining lease, insisting the action was a decisive move taken in the national interest. In a strongly worded statement issued over the weekend, the Commission said the revocation lease was triggered by clear breaches of regulatory requirements and failure to meet core obligations under Ghana's mining law. The regulator did not specify all the infractions, but maintained due process was followed, including prior engagement and cautioning to the company. The dispute adds to growing tension in Ghana's mining sector over lease renewals, community benefits and compliance enforcement. Meanwhile, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is yet to comment on the standoff.
Following a routine inspection and investigations conducted by the Inspectorate Division of the Commission, it was established that Adamos Resources unlawfully assigned portion of its mineral rights to third parties without prior ministerial consent, in direct breach of Section 14 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703. The investigations were supported by pictorial evidence and on-site inspection across multiple concessions operated by the company. The findings disclosed systematic and flagrant violation of Ghana's mining laws, prompting the Commission to recommend the revocation of the company's mining leases and the prosecution of the company and its directs under the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019, Act 995. While Section 68, subsection 2 of the Act 703 and Regulation 200, subsection 3 of LI 2176 requires notice period to remedy breaches, immediate revocation is justified where the public interest and environmental protection demand agent action, or where the illegalities or breaches are found to be flagrant and deliberate.
In related development, former Member of Parliament for Prestia Valley, Kwesi Blay, and several local youth groups have kicked against calls to revoke the mining lease of Heat Goldfields Limited. Speaking at a community forum in Prestia over the weekend, Mr. Blay said terminating the lease would worsen unemployment in the mining community, where the mine directly and indirectly support thousands of families. Leaders of youth groups, including the Prestia Concerned Youth Association, cite the company's recent commitment to revive dormant sections of the mine and recruit additional local laborers reason to maintain the lease. The opposition comes amid renewed public debate over the performance of some mining firms in the Western region, with regulators under intense pressure to enforce compliance and maximize state benefits from mineral concessions. Meanwhile, traditional authorities in the area are calling for calm and broader stakeholder engagement.
I am more than 2 million% for Heat to stay. Are you getting me? As I indicated earlier on, it is too early for us to agitate that they should leave. What is their crime? I am for Heat because one, it's a Ghanaian mining company. Whatever money that they get, at the end of the day, it will stay in the country. Now, our guys need employment. They need to be employed. So why are we asking them to leave? And at this juncture, well, fine, if the government also decide, okay, let me listen to the community. They say Heat must go, so Heat go. Who loses? It is we, the community. That is why some of us, we are for Heat to stay. But they should engage the community. They should let us know their working plans. And then from there, we can all go.
I think it is very, very necessary for Heat must stay. Because looking at the economic activities in this town, what I am advocating for, the reason why I'm saying Heat must stay is that as long as Heat has given some of the community, the youth, a place to do their livelihood activity, that is a place to work. It is a nice initiative. At the end of the day, all the youth in the community, we cannot get employment from the mining company. Neither can you do anything apart from what they are doing here, which is the small scale mining. And then he's go face thinking of the community members, giving them a portion to work. I think it is very, very necessary to join this solidarity work. So I necessarily think heat must stay in this community because of the activities they are doing currently. It is very, very necessary for them to stay. They are going to help the community because looking at the initiatives, the steps that they are putting in place, I think it is very necessary for them to stay. So heat must stay, and heat will stay in Prestia community forever. Gideon Kumsen. Gideon Kumsen.
The Minister of Energy, John Jinapor, disclosed a fire incident at the Akosobo generating station damaged a critical control room responsible for power evacuation affecting electricity supply across part of the country. In a press briefing, Mr. Jinapor said the blaze, which occurred at the Akosombo hydroelectric plant, hit key infrastructure that coordinate the transmission of power from dam to the national grid. While he gave no specific date for full recovery, he noted that teams from the Volta River Authority and Gridco are working to restore service. The source of the blaze remains unknown as inquiries continue.
Recently, we've had some major challenges. These challenges have become a two-pronged challenge. The first is the unfortunate incident that just occurred over the weekend. The second is the technical challenges we faced based on the obsolete equipment, overloaded transformers, and transformers that have been failing. But notwithstanding these challenges, the overall trajectory of the power sector remains strong, progressive. We continue with the reforms, and I must say that the sector remains resilient despite the recent challenges. And as Minister for the sector, even though this is a very challenging period, I am determined to work with the team to ensure that we overcome these challenges. And so, members of the press, with your permission, I will deal with these two challenges. And with your permission, I'll take care of the incident that happened at Akosombo last week.
As government attributes recent power outages to technical damages, frustrated residents in Asafo Bantama and Swami in the Ashanti region blame the erratic supply on what they described as the NDC legacy while demanding a clear load shedding timetable.
Sibanu yene na omeka omo ankasa omo ti wo nu kan ye dundum de ayomo ha be to omo ba pe na osate oni ba sha Akosombo eso aban bi aba Akosombo ro enum omo so nko aba ene omo nu ye ko modum be 4 times da kom ti dundum be 10 ayomo ha be tinti eno de kan ye dundum de anyo na be che obi se ti se nto se wo ankasa hu de ko ana mo de mo generator na ndisi bo na to generator yi ma mo di da ma mo ona mo to mo ade nti e ba e kam e kan ye Marie, the Casacho Musomo, Ebayan Yom Yin, no money, Yamani. Bye bye. There's a beer coming. Who was a beer coming? I can't on money, I never find I come. I can't be a. And the idea can you do a more beer? I go home lay up. Yes, I would do Kanya Kanwa. Wow to me that. What's a fine crying out and I said, you're doing Kanya. You're no money, Papa. And then one has a been to be killed. And now be careful of Benjamin. The cost on one number. This is almost back and you're going to read the Yoma habit. Oh, my dear woman, said the Bimbo do Kanya. So, if you can do the account and come back for Obia or no or Westa or coast of woman Becca Homo, your tongue as water, a Beccan will be a canoe. So we what was why you feel when you now so more prayer but na feel but na feel kra it do ma do money ya ne dia dia enye yanku and effect obia we and this new people you effect here nyina na kan you.
Rice farmers in Afajato South District of the Volta region are decrying poor sales this season, with tons of paddy left in warehouses. The farmers, mostly from Vergolokwati, Tafi and Liati, says they invested heavily in improved seeds and fertilizer under the government Planting for Food and Jobs program, expecting strong demand after harvest. Instead, they are struggling to find buyers for their produce. Farmers estimate that over 800 metric tons of paddy are currently locked up in the district. They blame the glut on competition from cheaper imported rice and the absence of guaranteed off-takers.
We are gathered here today because of challenges we are facing in selling our produce. After farming, it has been hard for us to sell our produce, being it rice and maize. So we contacted Buffer Stock, but they let us know that we need to process the rice for them. But currently in the district, we don't have processing facilities, which is the rice mill. So it is a challenge for us to meet their demand. So we are appealing to the government that it should make the necessary machines for us to be able to process our rice.
Last season, you don't young perform better Yamanu Amai. Now, baby, I did this cafe in Nano. Omutata na interest air basso. And ma obimu air common, obimu su Janife omufi, and obimu omubano omuntuminko school. And say, yes, right, I'm buying say, boy na better Yamanu Maya.
Sesia niamanu ya harvest niamanu ya di see them ye ni onipa obeto amaye bibia ye basa e se ye ba no mu nko suku e se go plan Ghana for ye Jessica owo na ye timina ye betu amuka de bia no mu wa ye fie de bia no mu wa ye fie no mu ha se ye betu akanu Ebenya skanu ahifa ese mi ban onko suku na sese ofie wanya admission o Ghana Telecom mi nisikana odi beko ye pamucho fertilizer asam so no aye problem matoba ye 90 million na sasikani nyina ewo minya bebi amenya skanu mi dia tuama bebi amaji fertilizer no iti e pa government ni chen.
We have a challenge that we don't have a warehouse, so some of the produce rice, paddy rice, are lying in the open places. And then, in addition to that, too, we don't have harvesting machine, a harvester, and a tractor. Those that come here are private ones, so those ones they charge exorbitantly. So at the end of the day, the cost of production is very high. You don't get sometimes you don't get profit, or you don't even get you don't break even. So we are appealing to the government to come in and supply us or come their machines so that those private ones will not take us for granted.
The Ashanti Regional Health Directorate has intensified its malaria control campaign amid a rise in cases, calling on households to prioritize prevention measures. Ashanti Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Frederick Adomako Boateng, said the region has made gains in reducing malaria mortality over the past few years, but recent surveillance data shows an uptick in outpatient cases that must be tackled with urgency. He urged families to consistently sleep under insecticide-treated nets, clear stagnant water around homes, and seek medical care within 24 hours of fever onset. Health facilities across the region have also been restocked with rapid diagnostic test kits and artemisinin-based combination therapies to ensure no patient is turned away. According to the Ghana Health Service, malaria accounted for about 30% of all outpatient department cases in the Ashanti region in the first quarter of 2026, with children under 5 making up a significant proportion of severe cases.
In Ashanti region, notable progress has been made in malaria control over the past 3 years. Although some challenges still persist. Reported outpatients in the DIMS, the District Health Management Information System, for the past 3 years are as follows. When we look at the total OPD malaria cases, in 2023, we had 989,253 people coming to our OPD because of malaria. And this accounts for 20.3% of all OPD cases in 2023. Now, if you look at 2024, people who came to our outpatient department for malaria were 1,153,002, and that represented 19% of all cases that came to visit our OPD. Now, when we look at 2025, the total number that came for our OPD services because of malaria were 970,696, and that represented 20% of all patients that came to our OPD. Now, we can also look at some percentage of OPD suspected malaria cases that were tested before treatment. So if you take 100 people that were tested before treated for malaria, 99 of them were tested before treatment for malaria. Now, if you look at patients that were admitted with malaria, and for this, we are looking at children less than 5 years. In 1923, there were 27,846. In 2024, there were 22,472. And in 2025, there were 21,343. Now, patients dying of malaria under one, and this we have to applaud ourselves. For 2023, we had none dying from malaria. For 2024, one died from malaria. And 2025, one died from malaria. Now, if you look at institutional under 5 malaria case fatality rate, that is those that had malaria and died from it. In 2023, as we stated, it was 0. In 2024, 0.01%, and in 2025, 0.005%. Now, patients that were admitted with malaria for children or for people more than 5 years, in 2023, we were looking at 70,311. In 2024, we were looking at 59,151. And in 2025, we were looking at 57,864. And then institutional at more than 5 case fatality rate for malaria. In 2023, 0.2%, in 2024, 0.02%, and in 2025, 0.002%. Now, this is my heartbeat. When it comes to percentage of pregnant women taking intermittent preventive treatment for malaria, in Ashanti region, in 2022, 49%. In 2024, 54%. And in 2025, 58%. Diagnostic performance remains strong from these figures, with testing rates as we have stated. Encouragingly, we have spoken about the severe malaria admissions going down. Preventive efforts among pregnant.
In business, economist and lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Gloria Full-Mensah says Ghana's recent macroeconomic stabilization marked by easing inflation, improving growth and stronger policy transmission has come with necessary but justified cost on the balance sheet of the Bank of Ghana. Her comment comes as Ghana records a notable turnaround rate inflation easing to about 3.2%, monetary policy gradually normalizing from crisis levels, and GDP growth for 2025 rising to around 6.0% compared to 5.8% in 2024. Speaking on quarterly economic outlook, Dr. Fu Mensah explained that the Bank of Ghana's inflation targeting framework relies heavily on managing expectations within a defined target band of 8% surplus minus 2%. She noted that while policy rate adjustments are meant to transmit into commercial lending rate and ultimately the real sector, structural rigidities in financial system have often weakened this mechanism. Dr. Fu Mensah pointed to excess liquidity in the banking system and profit maximizing behavior by banks as key factors that distort transmission, as banks often respond to government securities rather than policy signals. This, she said, necessitated open market operations to mop up liquidity actions that appear as cost on the financial statement of the central bank. She argued that these interventions were crucial to curb inflation, which previously exceeded 50% in 2022, to prevent deeper erosion of income, savings and living standards. While acknowledging concern over Bank of Ghana's balance sheet, she maintained that the interventions were corrective rather than misallocated, adding that as liquidity normalizes, such costs are expected to ease ongoing into 2026. To sports, football agent Jennifer has stated that Ghana midfielder Mohamed Kudus is on a downward trend. She said this in an interview on and off when she spoke extensively about her partnership with the former West Ham United player. Kudus and Medeswich worked together for multiple years, but the relationship ended in lead up to Kudus' lucrative move to Tottenham Hotspur prior to the start of the 2025-2026 season. At the time of writing, Kudus has been ruled out of the season after suffering a setback in his recovery from a 3-month quad injury layoff. In his first season as Spurs, Kudus registered 3 goals and 6 assists in 26 games in all competitions. After pointing to pressure from Kudus' family as the reason behind her split with the Black Stars player, she added that Kudus' career was not on the ascent. In showbiz, Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie has described an insulting question that portrays music as a venture that is not serious. In a recent Facebook post, the award-winning artist took issue with people ask creatives what business they venture in apart from music. His comments have since sparked conversation online, with many in the creative space echoing his sentiment on the need to accord music and other art forms the same level of respect as traditional professions. People, mostly out of ignorance, place music and art at a very low level in the business ecosystem. Although a major contributor to the economy, the sector is still widely undervalued, with its seriousness and impact often overlooked within the wider orange economy. Sarkodie's remarks come at a time where Ghana's music industry continues to expand its global reach, contributing significantly to the country's creative economy while providing employment and investment opportunities for young people. Over the years, the rapper has built a brand that stretches beyond music into endorsement and entrepreneurship, reinforcing his argument that music as a career can stand on its own as a viable and structured business path. On some global news updates, Russian African Corps mercenaries and Malian government troops have begun a strategic withdrawal from the city of Kidal. This move follows 2 days of intense combat against separatist forces. The Azawad Liberation Front now claims full administrative control of the northern city. The withdrawal was facilitated by a formal negotiation between the opposing factions. Mohammed El Moulaud Ramadan, a spokesperson for the Azawad Liberation Front, confirmed the shift in a power on Sunday. An agreement was reached between the Azawad forces and Russian elements of the African Corps with a view to ensuring their secure withdrawal from the fighting. He later declared a city status via social media. Witnesses confirmed Russian mercenaries were heavily involved in fighting around their Bamako airport headquarters before the shift to the north. Reports indicate the Azawad Liberation Front had explicitly asked the Russians to surrender their weapons before stepping out of Kidal, a move analysts described as a significant blow to their local reputation. The loss of Kidal serves as a significant setback for the ruling military junta. Government forces had captured the city in late 2023 with heavy Russian assistance. This weekend's escalation marks a new level of cooperation between desperate militant groups. The Tuareg-led separatists worked in tandem with the Al-Qaeda-linked Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin. Ramadan emphasized this new alliance in his remarks to the press. The offensive involved simultaneous strike on military installation in Kati and Mopti. An Azawad Liberation Front field commander involved in the assault on Kidal told BBC the group had been preparing for the offensive for months. The Malian government faces a leadership crisis following reports of the death of their defense minister, Sadio Camara. Family members and French media outlets indicate Camara was killed in a vehicle bomb attack in Kati. The explosion also claimed the lives of at least 3 of his family members. While the military junta has yet to issue a formal confirmation of the minister's death, they've acknowledged the ongoing violence. A military statement released on Sunday vowed that the current wave of aggression will not go unanswered. The government has initiated a nationwide alert and deployed large-scale patrol to reinforce checkpoints. The scale of the attacks has drawn international condemnation and concern for the stability of Sahel. Multiple cities across the country reported casualties and property damages. State broadcaster offers their radio diffusion aid the Television du Mali reported that 16 people were injured in the raid. The General Staff of the Malian Armed Forces maintained that the situation was under control due to the response of the armed forces. The federal claimed to have killed several hundred assailants during the repelled assault in Bamako. Al-Lissin, head of the Sahel program at the Conrad Foundation, offered a different assessment. He noted that the incident appeared to be the largest coordinated jihadist attack on Mali for years. He added that the attacks are a major blow to Russia, as the mercenaries had no intelligence about the attacks and were unable to protect major cities. He further observed that the mercenaries have unnecessarily worsened the conflict by not distinguishing between civilians and combatants. International bodies have reacted swiftly to the deteriorating security environment. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the act of violence as he expressed his solidarity with the Malian people. The Economic Community of West African States stated that despite the junta's previous departure from the bloc, the African Union has voiced its alarm over the coordinated assault on Bamako and the interior region. African Union Commission Chair Mahmoud Ali Yusuf expressed deep concern over the violence and stated that the 55-member Continental Organization strongly condemned this act, which risks exposing civilian population to significant harm. Yusuf reaffirmed the African Union's steadfast commitment to the promotion of peace, security, good governance, and stability in Mali. This continental pressure mirrors growing fears among neighboring countries like Ghana and Ivory Coast, where security experts are monitoring whether this marks a permanent shift in the Sahel power balance. And that's it on the morning news broadcast. Do all to log on to all social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio for more news stories. I am Deborah Adosu. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikose, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adosu,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and as you know it, we come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the main topic for discussion, not just the main topic, but also topical issues that are of concern to you and of all of us, and issues that matter to you every morning right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. My name is Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be hosting this with my knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the issue. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to send in your comments. We'll do all to read them, and we'll let you know what our guests also think. You can also share your opinions with us on our Facebook, our YouTube, and also on our X pages. All you have to do is just log on. Let's get into the issues. Interact with us, engage with us, and let's get the issue running. Right. Thank you so much once again for joining me on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This morning I have seated with me in the studios the NPP Communications team member, Mr. Abdul Razak. Good morning to you, Mr. Razak, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Ezinam.
Yeah. How
Thank
are you
for
doing?
having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. It's always a pleasure to have you in the studios.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. How was your presentation?
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
I mean, it's something that we've been doing, so.
Yes, I was actually praying for you that it will go successful.
I'm and sure that's why I had it easy.
Oh, yes. Then it's me. Come and pay your tithe.
It was good.
Right. It's good to have you. At least we didn't miss you because, yesterday we couldn't have you in the studios because
of Doomsaw. That's very sad.
Would you say that it's Doomsaw?
Yeah, it was.
Would you say that is actually Doomsaw?
It was Doomsaw.
Or it's just a technical issue being checked out or being looked at?
That doesn't change the fact that we have Doomsaw, right? I mean, it's over a month now.
They said it's Doom CSA. This one is not Doomsaw.
Okay.
Right. But can you share with me? I believe you also have frustrations as well. Share with me. How is it like?
You see, this is a moment that, I mean, we've been saying this all the time, that Ghanaians have been largely deceived by the NDC government.
Oh, how?
You see, I remember when Sami Jemfi on TV told us that it is not justified that we experience Doomsaw for even a single day. That was under Akufo-Addo when there were challenges and it was being fixed. They told us it was not justified. The current energy minister, and you see, sometimes this is why I like Kama. Kama will come in a way that you will not understand.
You're not expecting
the
it.
Current energy minister stood on the, on TV, City TV. He made a lot of submissions to the effect that there is not even a single justification as to why we are experiencing Doomsaw or why we are experiencing lights out. But I tell you for a fact that under President Akufo-Addo, we had the best, or we experienced, electricity to a very good extent. It wasn't like that. Given that they had already taken us through over 4 years of Doomsaw under the first administration of President Mahama, we came and we maintained the light. We make sure things were in order for over 8 years, right? And these people, when we had a single or some minimal challenges, they didn't let us sleep. They were all over making noise. Now making statements to the effect that we cannot be justifying the fact that there's Doomsaw or lights out in a day is something that I think they were just in a haste to get power, right? And today, look at what is happening to them. They don't even know how to manage the situation. Every day they are giving us different reasons as to why we are experiencing the Doomsaw. Another place they are telling us is, technical challenges. Another place they are telling us pythons are, biting off the wires. NDC. You see, so this is why I like Kama. Kama will come. You experience Kama and you talk through. Today we are experiencing Doomsaw. They cannot even give an reasonable explanation as to why we are experiencing Doomsaw. Look at what is happening. Yesterday we couldn't have the program because of Doomsaw.
Yeah, it couldn't happen.
You see, I had already prepared and I took off. Right, sorry. I was coming to sit in for my program.
So sorry about that.
But I was informed there was Doomsaw here, so we couldn't take it on.
We couldn't, sorry about that.
And given that I slept in darkness
yesterday,
I tell you for a fact that I slept in darkness.
I also slept in darkness yesterday.
So you see,
so that was why I was very optimistic that definitely they are not going to take it this morning.
And look, the effect of this is that if you have, an infant economy like ours, that production largely depends on the availability of electricity in certain areas or in certain industries. Mostly all of them. I shouldn't even be using the word certain industry because we have almost all the factories that's working, industry that's working, all the institutions in this country. Electricity is key to the administration of those industries, and so there's no justification as to why we should be experiencing Doomsaw at this moment. I mean, it is something that we should at least say that. Well, we have been able to tackle the issue of Doomsaw head on, and that, anytime we're going to be experiencing light out, it's going to be minimal. What we are experiencing is too much.
It's too much. So what better way do you think the governments could actually, manage the situation? Because per what we've heard from the minister, they are changing transformers, and also looking at the crisis and the incidents that happened at Akosombo is equally affecting this whole quality supply of electricity.
So you see, now they want us to listen to explanations and understand them. And you see, I respect that. But when we were giving them explanation, they didn't want to hear that.
So is it that
They
you're
said-
not
they
going to
said-
bear with them because of what they did to you during your
I mean,
tenure?
we will bear with them. We want to build a nation, right? We want to build a nation. We want a situation where Ghana is better for all of us.
Exactly.
I mean, I was not happy that I slept in darkness.
Me, same here.
You understand?
Because you
The
don't
heat
know
was too much.
what insect will even get into your room.
So we want them to get the issue fixed,
Mhm.
and they should be serious about it.
Oh, you think they're
Right.
not being serious about it? Are they keeping long, or they are dragging their feet? Because they've given us a duration of 3 months to actually fix this crisis.
3 months.
It's
so
too
meaning
much.
we're going to be in Dumso for 3 months.
Not necessarily doing so, but we have to manage.
Well, but you remember what's the name? His name? Sami Jemfi. Honorable Sami Jemfi told us we cannot even justify sleeping in darkness for 1 day. So how on earth are they giving us 6 months or 3 months,
3
to sleep in Dumso?
You know how you people play your games.
Oh, but it's sad. It's sad that a whole machinery is leaving us to sleep. Oh, Charlie, look at Honorable Sam George, what he told us.
What did
Honorable
he
Sam
say?
George on all his social media handles, be it Twitter, Facebook, and all of that, he spoke on the fact that there is no justification as to why we should be experiencing doom so. So if really there's a technical problem, we will understand them. But given that they didn't want to understand the fact that we can have technical challenges, that definitely will lead to taking power off for some time. And what is happening today, I keep telling you that this government is government of walking contradiction.
Right.
They basically do not understand what it takes to govern. That is why in opposition, everything about governance was politics. They never saw a single thing to be, issue that is affecting the nation and has to do with governance outside of politics. All that they did was politics, politics, politics. Instead of even proffering, reasonable solutions or critical, solutions as to how government can, get some of these issues solved, they never did that. I remember when we called them to come into the table for us to draw a plan as to how to tackle illegal mining, Sami Jemfi specifically told us that they do not want to get associated with galamseyers. They don't want to be seen having any engagement with people who are galamseyers, stating that the MPP were doing galamsey. Today you see galamsey going on everywhere, every part of the country, and you don't even see them coming to apologize for some of the things they said. We are not in power. They are in power. Should we say they are galamseyers? So this is not how we build a nation. They came into power through propaganda, a serious one. And today they are seeing the wrath of what they have done. They are facing the karma, and they are not even able to, be frank with Ghanaian people. That's very sad. We don't build a nation this way.
Hey, Asemo, you mentioned that during your tenure you were equally having technical challenges as well. And looking at what the minister is saying, that it's due to the fire outbreak at Akosombo, and also them changing about 2,500 transformers across the country. What was your technical issue during your tenure?
Well, I don't have the statistics as to what the challenges were.
As the challenge was,
as then.
but there was a technical issue.
Yes, I do know. Because given the information that the energy minister then stated, that the country was, or the power sector was faced with some challenges which are technical. I didn't have the details of that, so I wouldn't be able to speak specifically. But given that today they've told us it has to do with some fire outbreak and some transformers are not, which are not in order. It's only good that we understand the explanation they are giving us, right? And we encourage them to work on the power situation. It's a really sad one. We don't want to experience doomsday for another, close to 3 years. That will be unbearable.
I see that. We are just hoping that the 3 months duration that they've given to us, that they are going to be changing the transformers, it doesn't exceed that, because if it exceeds that, it's actually going to be very frustrating.
It will.
Because businesses are actually
there was no light
suffering.
at Circle, Circle, the almighty Circle. There was no light.
There was no light there. And businesses are equally struggling as well.
You can imagine.
I don't know
Coast
if you
stores
saw,
are being shut down. People, businesses are being shut down.
Are being shut down. They're actually really, really struggling.
And basically, cause production, basically, when there's no electricity, how do you produce? Given that the machines and all of that you use in production requires electricity, the power plants cannot sustain the kind of electricity that the factories or industry need to produce. So it's a really sad situation. If you are going to experience it for more than 3 months, we are going to have a very dire situation in this country.
I see that. We wish them the best. Right, at this juncture, we are going to be delving into our main topic for discussion. We're actually supposed to have Mr. Zamani join us, but I believe he's on his way coming, and then he'll be joining us shortly. Before he does that, let's just get into the issue. Wherever he missed us, he will join us. Right, so today we'll be looking at...
power, they become
but there are instances where you were equally late as well.
Me? Here late?
Yes.
Before the
come
any
on.
other... No, I don't think so. I don't think...
There have been instances you've been equally late
Me,
as
I will
well.
come here late.
So anything could happen. It could be a challenge. It could be car issue. It could be traffic.
But me, I don't
Sometimes
come early.
there are
I don't come
unforeseen
late.
circumstances that are beyond your control that there's nothing you can do about it. But to just be in it.
No, but... I mean, you should be speaking for me. I've never been here late.
Oh, Mr.
I don't remember.
Abdul, are you
I don't remember
sure?
coming here
Are you
late.
sure already? And you want to buttress this with politics again? That when they're in power, it's a
They
lot.
become time unconscious.
Yo, when he comes into the studio, then you tell him that.
Oh, definitely.
You tell him
Definitely,
that.
I'll tell him.
Right. So today we'll be looking at the impact of xenophobic attacks on African unity and integration. I believe you have a knowledge of what is actually happening in
I'm a
South Africa.
I have that bit of Pan-Africanism in me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's nice. Then you speak to us a lot today.
I like Kwame Nkrumah small.
Why small? Why don't
I
you like
him
him?
small.
Why don't you like him entirely?
I subscribe based on my readings and my understandings. I understand that Kwame Nkrumah is the greatest we have had in this country.
Of course.
However, being a human being, he cannot be said to be perfect. And so there are challenges and certain things that I don't agree with.
What did you agree
The
with?
things that Kwame Nkrumah did.
Were you born as a then? When Kwame Nkrumah was
That's what I started by saying, that my readings and my understandings.
Your readings and
right?
your
I'm a political science student, so I've read about him at a university level.
Okay.
So I know a little bit about Kwame Nkrumah, right? So I believe that Nkrumah, well, we're talking about xenophobia, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let me start with the issue of xenophobia in South Africa.
All right.
I think that, you see, Africa, we have this intention of getting our markets, opened up. We have the intention of, operating free market system, said that
free trade.
You don't have that restriction being imposed on Ghanaians, right? And so that is why Africa, they came with this agreement after the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. What the agreement basically seeks to do is that it seeks to open up the African market so that you don't have, goods that are coming from either Ghana or South Africa being rejected in, some markets. And so the Free Continental Trade Area seeks to ensure that we have a free market system, and that will expand, trade between African countries. But what South Africa is doing today is undermining the agreement, and they signed it. They are a signatory to that agreement. They signed in 2018. So it is sad that South Africa today, they are directing their anger at fellow Africans. I mean, if you look at the apartheid regime, it was characterized with the white controlling the black South Africans. The white, they would make sure that blacks don't have a voting right, racial segregation. They would basically ignore, in terms of labor, in terms of employment, they would make sure that the black South Africans are made to work for something that they call the white collar jobs, the jobs that don't earn you much. When it comes to employment, they would pick and choose. If it is about white, or if you are in competition with a white person that is also applying for same job, preference will be given to the white. That was the apartheid regime. They didn't see the impact of Ghana. Ghana, as at the time, in fighting this apartheid, Ghana helped them a lot. Kwame Nkrumah helped them a lot with our money.
A very big role.
Yes. We helped them with money. And in some instances, we helped them with passport, right? South Africans they will leave South Africa, come to Ghana, pick a passport, and we'll grant them passport to travel around the country to do businesses.
Right.
Ghana served as, what they say, the Mecca of Africa during the fight for independence. And so the apartheid regime, Ghana played a significant role. And just about, I think yesterday or so, I saw another post where Nigeria donating about some amount of millions of dollars to South Africa to fight xenophobia. To fight the apartheid regime. This is the post. Nigeria spent $61 billion to free South Africa.
Back then?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
So today, South Africans cannot be so confused that they don't even know where to direct their anger.
But where from this whole xenophobic of a thing? What's their fear?
Basically, if you listen to their videos, they are saying that, Africans in South Africa who are, now they are even attacking both legal residents and illegal, immigrants. So what they want to say is that you should go back and help hold your government accountable to fix your country, right? But if you look at what happened, during the apartheid regime and how African nations came in to help, basically or specifically Ghana and Nigeria and some other countries came in to help, it is improper that they are taking this stance. I understand that they have a country to build, but I also believe that they should know where to direct their anger. Because if you go to South Africa, the means of production basically is in the hands of the white. The means of production is controlled by the white. And just when I saw a video where South Africans were dancing to the white people while they were enjoying their dinner or something like that. Then you see them dancing. You cannot be dancing to these white people and you think that you would have a better life in your country. No. I told you that I have some level of Pan-Africanism in me. And I'm saying this, when we were in the university, we read something about the reason for the coming into Ghana or Gold Coast by the Europeans. And one of the things we realized was that all the major things they did in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
For example, the railway, they were directed at places where they could get raw materials and export to their country. Or just use railway for example. That is why there were no raw materials they needed from the north, so they didn't come there to do railways. But in the south there, even if you check, you see that it's directed at places where they could get raw materials to export. They didn't want to do it for Ghanaians. So anything a white man is doing, right, just know that even if he says he's helping you, know that there is something much greater he's benefiting from that.
Benefits from that.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we are saying that South Africans should redirect their energy. They should look at who to fight and understand the problem. That the problem is not their fellow Africans in South Africa. The problem is not who is in South Africa. And I know that a lot of people are there legally. The other day I saw a video where they are attacking a Nigerian man who had a visa. They asked for his visa. He showed it to them, but he told them that he wasn't going to give it to them because they are not immigration officers, and so he's not going to give it to them. But that was fact. He was right, and those people were trying all that they can to sack the man out of the place he was trying to enter. This is not the problem. This is not how you want to fix your nation. You cannot stand alone as a country and survive. No man can stand. Or what's the word they use? Ireland or Eastland or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it.
Is it island?
Yes. No man can stand alone. As a country, you need to depend on other countries to survive.
Yeah.
For technical expertise, for trade, for that kind of relationship. So you cannot be hostile to other African countries and you think the country is going to progress in the right direction. No. Go and fight your white masters who are controlling the minerals and the means of production in your country. They are controlling the resources. You people are just there enjoying the. That's why I like Julius Malema. The man will tell you that, look, if we don't liberalize, if we don't open up our markets, if we don't make an Africa one, right, we are not going to experience the best of our resources. Because if you look at Europe, They have places where you just get up, you don't need visa. You can go to that anywhere in Europe. But here in Africa, if you want to go to Mali, you need visa. You want to go to South Africa, you need visa. That kind of barrier limits us. It doesn't, make us feel that we are one. And that is why you see what's happening in South Africa today. We are supposed to be one as Africans. And so I support the fact that people are saying that we should come with one currency, so that we'll be able to do trade freely amongst ourselves in Africa. But, I mean, South Africans should rethink their modus operandi.
But looking at this whole attack, do you believe that as a nation we've actually approached it properly?
I mean, Ghana hasn't done okay, given that the foreign minister, the kind of intervention he has taken, I think is a right step.
It's a right step.
So he has done very well, and I applaud him for that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm that kind of person. If you have done something good, I'll say it.
You deserve the accolade.
Yes, he deserves it. Given that, wherever there is a Ghanaian who is facing a challenge, I mean, it's only good that our leaders show concern. Our leaders, try to help in any way possible. So I applaud the intervention by the foreign minister. He's done a good job.
So what should the South African authorities also be doing?
I saw a video where the president of South Africa stating that they would not tolerate, the activities that's going on in South Africa. But I hope that they enforce it, because it's really not going to help us. It's really not going to help us. They should try and enforce it. I mean, they have security. Those people should be cautioned.
Yeah, yesterday I actually saw a video of the police officers actually sacking the South African residents away, because they were actually preventing some of the Nigerians of going to work, even with their ID card actually shows that they actually work here. And from what I also read, these attacks are also happening because they say that these people are in their country to take away their jobs, especially their local jobs. That is why they had to, do what they have to do to sack these people to leave their country to go and fix their country.
Hey. You see, sometimes if you don't have a job, right, I'm not sure sacking them automatically gives you a job.
But should they be blamed for that?
For sacking them?
Should they be blamed for the fact that they've taken their local? Where were they when the jobs were there?
I mean, you see, sometimes there are certain jobs in this country, Ghana. There are certain jobs that an ordinary Ghanaian would not do. But in our laws, we have certain types.
What are some of those jobs?
I mean, let me make my point. Right? I'll come to that. There are certain jobs that basically in our laws is meant for Ghanaians. Certain jobs that Ghanaians are, it's only Ghanaians that are allowed to do that. But if you are not doing it and someone comes to do it, you shouldn't take it as a problem. I mean, Africa, if you look at Africa, Ghana is the most peaceful, if I should say, one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. We don't have this kind of hatred for our fellow Africans. I don't understand the issue with South Africa.
With South Africa.
But I think that it is wrong in the first place to state that they are coming to. What kind of local jobs are they taking from you? What kind of jobs are they? I mean, these people are just being arrogant. They are just being too, extreme. They should stop it. They should stop it.
Right. Joining us in the studios is Mr. Gaucho Zamani, the NDC communications team member. Before I proceed, he actually has a message for you. So,
good morning, my brother.
I hope this guy is not coming to do something on my neck.
I just greeted you.
You are not in trouble.
I greeted you. Good morning.
It looks like you're taking over the interview.
No, I've not taken over the interview. Yeah, I'm just worried that you have decided that you are going to be coming late, and it's not something that we are surprised of, because you are in power. People in power, they do not, they sometimes misbehave, so we understand. But we are only saying that we are supposed to be here at 8. It's 8:59, almost an hour. So is there any justification? Let me stop here. I'm sure my point has been noted.
Mrs. Zamani, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you.
Thank you so
You
much.
finally made it. I actually thought Doomso also took you as well.
Possibly.
It is quite unfortunate that we always try to make it here on time, but sometimes circumstances beyond our control sets in, and then
I was actually explaining to him, but it looked like he didn't want to accept that.
Circumstances beyond our control, comes in, and then we only have to apologize. It is not the best. It doesn't speak good. It doesn't speak good of us, actually.
Yeah.
But when it happens, we are multitasking. We have to make sure that we do everything at the same time. So
I like that.
I want to apologize to our listeners and viewers, and then to yourself and my brother here.
I like
that going forward we'll try and then adjust things very well. But as it stands now, it is not easy for us. We are doing a lot of things at the same time.
At the same time.
Don't worry. Anytime you are coming and you know that you will not be early, inform me. I'll come and bring you.
Sure.
You know he has a car, so he will come for you.
I'll come with my CRV. I'll come.
Razak is a very good
I'll
friend.
come with my CRV.
I was happy when I saw be paired with him. It's been a while. I've seen him.
It's been a while.
I've been watching his movements. I see he's living good.
He's living good.
He's not suffering from the opposition syndrome. He is living good.
What is their syndrome?
Hey. Opposition.
What's their syndrome?
He wants to give me a title and something. I understand where he's coming from.
What is their syndrome?
They are always holding their cheeks when they are in opposition.
I see. It's good to finally have you joining us in the studios. And before you came, we actually spoke a bit on the Doomso. And since you are in power, I think you'll be the best person to explain to us what is actually happening.
Even though we don't really need the explanation, what we need is answers. But you might have something to say.
Yes, what is actually happening in our energy sector? What is happening with your government?
All right, thank you so much. Once again, a good morning to our listeners and viewers. This power outage thing, one way or the other, these people are giving it name already. Doomso. It is not something that my government is proud of. It is not something that my government is proud of. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition held a presser which
the government
saw him explain some of the reason why these challenges are being faced by Ghanaians as it stands now. Moreover, it is not only in Accra, it is cut across the whole Ghana. Even some are facing it worse than we do here. But the fact that the minister and then the government has acknowledged the fact that it is indeed that Ghanaians are going through it, and for that matter, we have seen it and we are going to work on it. So I think let's give the minister and then the government the benefit of the doubt. We all can see evidently what is causing this. We all heard about the fire outbreak at Akosombo, and then we've been explained that there are some transformers that are overloaded and outmoded that need replacement. All these are being changed. These are some of the causes of what we are seeing at the moment. So I believe let's give the government the benefit of the doubt. This is in the early days, and it happens. I think for the past week or so.
About a month.
Oh, it is not up to a month.
It started long ago.
It is not up to a month. Please, don't exaggerate. It is not up to a month. This has been a week. Because my end, the only time I experienced this was I think 2 days ago, and it wasn't easy for me.
Oh, this thing it's been over a month.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
I don't want to argue on this.
I'm not exaggerating.
Yes, I see. I don't want to argue on this. But I see, this is not something that just happened in the moment. It is as a accumulation of some how do you call it, investments that were not done so well in the energy ministry. You see, some years back when this government took over, we heard the amount of debt that was left in the energy ministry, and even in about exiting power, the amount of gas that was left for us to power even our thermal for them to generate light for us was nothing to write home about. We have to, at that particular short moment, the president has to constitute a committee to see that we can, raise some emergency funds at that particular moment to even get gas transfer from Nigeria to Ghana, just so we can power our plants to supply us power. All these were, issues that we face in the early days of our government. You get me? So this is not a time where we are going to say Ghanaians should go and prepare their own. I know they are. I'm sure he spoke about the government preparing a timetable, a doomsday timetable for us.
Oh, he never mentioned.
He never mentioned that. I'm sure he will do, because he was waiting for me to rebut so that he can say that. But you see, this is not a time that we are shedding powers. This is actually an unforeseen event that has happened that the government is trying to curtail, and for that matter, we cannot give timetable. We cannot give timetable for this,
because it can happen at any time.
It can happen at any time, and the government is even looking at what curtailing. Because at the point, yesterday when I was listening to the minister, it was like they released some information on some areas that were going to be affected with power outage, but at the point the engineers were able to resolve, so they had to do what? Cut down with the numbers. So this is not a thing that can be released that, oh, okay, and then Osu, you will not have light, or these people will not have this. No. It is not going. This is something that has happened, and they are working on it. And the minister has even given us an ultimatum that in the next 1 week, we are looking at doing completely resolving these matters.
But he said 3 months.
Did the minister say 3 months?
Yes.
I listened to the presser yesterday.
And he said 1 week.
Yes, I listened to the presser yesterday. You see, there is excessive doomsday. That is the power outage, which has to do with the Akosomo fire outbreak. And there is the replacement of transformers. I know the replacement of transformers is going to take a long time because they are even doing that in batches.
Yeah.
And whenever transformer is going to be replaced, meaning that particular area the power is going to be affected. Because transformer is what distributes power to, the various houses. So immediately your transformer is being changed, you are going to be affected. The replacement is not only done in Accra, it is done across Ghana, because there are some transformers that are outmoded, there are even some that are overcrowded. You get me? And they are looking at what replacing all these transformers, and we know it was captured in the budget that what transformers were going to be procured and all that. Yes, the president spoke about it. So as for that one, is going to take a long time.
Yeah, so we should bear with the government.
Oh yeah, very well.
Very well. In the coming months,
very well,
it's going to be better.
Oh yeah,
right.
So now I stated that it is only okay that we understand the explanation.
Yes.
But it doesn't really sound well, given that they never wanted to even listen to any explanation. And he made mention of the fact that there was, some level of debt at the energy sector when they took over. It has never been, a novel situation. When we came in, we made about $2.something million debt at the energy sector, and we managed it throughout the 8 years. So we expect that they do same without complaints, because we are not going to listen to any, explanation. They never listen to any. So we won't listen to any explanation too. And basically, they have not given us timetable. But if you look at the pattern, the government has already formed timetable for themselves. Because basically, yesterday was at Circle, today it will be at another place. So they have, formed a timetable for themselves, even though they have not given it to Ghanaians. So I know with time, they will release it. They will release the timetable, because since it's going to take us of about 3 months, the timetable has to come.
Right. With that being said, I think our party chairman has actually given us the details of the issue. So let's move to the substantive topic for discussion. That has to do with xenophobic attacks and its impact on African unity. This is actually not the first time that we are experiencing xenophobic attacks. It has surfaced again. But in your opinion, how serious is this particular issue today compared to the previous years?
This is, as a matter of fact, I want to start with it. I need to be harsh on them. This is barbaric.
How?
Honestly,
someone just said something. It's funny.
It is so bad. You go, come in.
Oh, you go on.
What did the person say?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Come in.
You go on.
I hope it's about what we are discussing.
No.
It's not about what we are discussing.
Very well.
You see, it is very barbaric. Honestly, I don't know where this is leading to. I don't know what I wouldn't say the whole of South Africa, but some individuals in South Africa, I don't know what they intend to achieve. Today that we are all fighting for African unity, today that we are all fighting for a borderless Africa, we are all fighting to do what? To even at a point have to spend the same currency, at a point have one security mechanism. Today we look at the Western world and we envy them. We go to the Western world, we go to borrow, and they tell us all sorts of things because Africa is so divided. And instances where we are looking at what, even not documentally, but within our own ways, we are visiting our African neighbors, or we are visiting other African countries, and we are settling there. And you say what? You say Africa, Nigerians are doing what? Ghanaians are doing what? If you should claim that Ghanaians are there taking your job, and for that matter, you are going to beat Ghanaians and you are going to maltreat Ghanaians, you should be looking at your system. That clearly means your system that you claim that is working, your system that you claim that is fixed, and for that matter, they should go back to their country and go and fix their system. You should look at your system very well. What is wrong? What is going wrong that you think Ghanaians are taking your jobs from you? When you come to Ghana, we have a system here. When it comes to trade, there are instances where you, as a foreigner, you must not be seen dealing in a wholesale goods. You should not be selling your things on wholesale basis. Foreigners deal in trade in retail matters. When it comes to wholesale, it is left for indigents. It is left for indigents. In Ghana here, what is happening in South Africa? And upon my research, you could clearly see that some of them are so lazy to the extent that some of these jobs that these foreigners are doing, it is not something that they will be happy to do. Now you are claiming there was this gentleman they met on the road. They asked the gentleman, he was like, he's into hair, he make hair and all that. And for that matter, the young man should leave South Africa. Immediately he leaves South Africa, does it mean they are going to replace and be doing hair for people?
I mean, I made the same statement here.
You get me? Immediately leave, are you going to sit and make the same and going to make effort for people? This is so barbaric. We've gone past those days. Those days when South Africa was fighting for independence, the whole of Africa have to come together
and fight
for South Africa. What has changed? Has these people forgotten their history?
What is their fear exactly?
I don't know. They should be looking at their system. What is there to be fear of? Or what is there to be afraid of? Isn't Ghana hosting other African nations?
Exactly.
You think so? So what happened? But they don't know how to tackle.
So what happened
or where to direct their frustration?
Yeah. So what happened if the other countries also want to retaliate?
Yes. Today DSTV is owned by a South African. MTN is owned by a South African. If we decide to boycott all these organizations and not to patronize their services anymore, do they think it's going to be the same? These organizations or these companies are contributing so much to their GDP over there. They come here, they pick the money, they take it there. So what is this barbaric act? They are stopping people. And you see, I was on a TikTok live with one of the gentlemen, and then you see the way they were commenting, you could clearly see that they are so much behind.
Backdated.
They are backdated. See, the sense of entitlement is too much. Today the Europeans are welcoming us. What led to slavery? Slavery was people forcefully taking off their comfort zone, taking elsewhere to go and work. And today people are coming to your country willingly. And when they come, it's not that they are just there. They are even contributing to your GDP. They pay tax. Why should you drive these people away? And even if that is the case, you don't want these people in your country. There are ways to go. There are diplomatic ways to go about this.
Exactly. So
not this attacking them on street, putting camera on them, and saying all manner of stuffs. It does not sound well. Right. That is not where we want Africa to go. That is not where Kwame Nkrumah, even there. That is not how Mandela fought for their independence. It was fought on base of unity.
Right. So where does the authorities actually come in? Because as it stands now, it looks like it's just the police force we're actually seeing. With the interaction and the engagement our foreign affairs minister actually had with the ambassador, we've not seen any results or any issue of them even calming down. Because per the videos that are trending, don't you think it's escalating?
So you see, this I believe is going to be something that needs to be looked differently within South Africa. I'm sure very well, I know very well that the government in South Africa and leadership in South Africa is not happy about this.
Of course. So what are they doing?
I don't know if a presser or something has been released to condemn their actions. I don't know about that. But as Ghanaians and as Africans, I'm sure the action taken by the Honorable Foreign Minister Okujeto Ablakwa is the best, and I want to applaud him for that. Because because this is not the first time it's happening. And this is not I hope this is the last time it's going to happen. I'm just hoping this is the last time it's going to happen. Because at a point, the minister has to do what? In his statements, calm Ghanaians down not to retaliate. You know how Ghanaians we are. We can equally respond. And in responding, it is not going to be holding South Africans in Ghana that, oh, you are not supposed to. No. There are South African owned organization businesses here. Island TV ShopRite is a South African business. Yeah. You get me? And all these businesses can be boycotted. People can decide not to shop in there again. So what we want the South African authority to do as soon as possible, all those actions are criminal acts. And those individuals must be arrested. You cannot just meet a foreigner anywhere and decide to attack the person. All those actions are criminal. And as soon as possible, those individuals must be apprehended. And to serve as deterrent to others. Even if you want these Ghanaians out of your country, that is not the best approach. Why should you want them out in the first place? Don't you have something doing yourself? Are you not looking for something to do yourself? Driving the person away, is that going to put something in your pocket? You are saying they are taking your jobs from you. How? How are they taking your jobs from you? You should look at your systems. What is not right? What are you fighting for? This is African unity we are looking at. The likes of Kwame Nkrumah did not do it this way. At a point, the whole Africa had to contribute to see to the elevation of South Africa. At a point, when demarcation were made, where white South African could go, black South African could not go. During apartheid, when black South Africans were thrown into the slums, were not allowed in the suburbs, it took the whole of Africa to come together to see to the freedom of South Africa. So please, they should go back and read their history very well. They should go back and read their history very well and look at the direction we are moving now. Somewhere 2 months ago, a program was held in Accra. We saw the whole of Africa coming, where we're fighting for a borderless Africa. We are looking at running a business where you don't get to a checkpoint and you are being mishandled, or you are being what? You are being attacked. You are being malhandled. We are looking at a system where we run business to and fro. That is what is happening in the Western world. That is what is booming their economy. That is a tangent we are looking at. Not these barbaric acts they are doing. You do that and you get what? Today people are running businesses overseas. You are in Ghana, you have your business in Congo, you have your business in South Africa, you have a business in Nigeria. That is the Africa we want to see. We want to see ourselves united. Not what is going on there. And they should cut us some slack. If we should decide to retaliate, the minister gave us the number of South African citizens that are living in Ghana now. On records, there are over 3,000. Off records, I'm sure there will be more than 10,000. And we can fish all these people out. That is if we decide to retaliate. So they should spare us. They should stop the nonsense they are doing. It doesn't make sense. Africa is not heading that direction.
Right. Mr. Abdul, why does AU and ECOWAS actually comes in this?
I mean, I talked about the issue of AFTA, African Continental Free Trade Area, and the fact that South Africa is a signatory to it.
Yeah.
What it seeks to do is to, open up our markets to ensure that we have free trade without any form of disturbances. Yes. But what these people are doing basically is, contrary to the principles of the agreements under the AFTA agreement. So basically, African Union should have a stay, or they should take,
strict action
against South Africa. But you see, sometimes these organizations are being termed as toothless bulldogs. They're just there, they are not able to function at the time that they
Yeah.
need to. So I mean, this is an issue that must be tackled head on. If you look at the role Ghana played in helping South Africa during the apartheid, you'd realize that South Africa is not justified in these actions that they are taking, because given that Ghana would give them passport to travel around the world to execute businesses, to speak about the apartheid in South Africa, because basically with the South African passport you wouldn't even get access to certain countries as at the time, but Ghana would give you the passport. I mean, to go around the world doing all sort of business and propagating the issue in South Africa, to the extent that Nigeria also gave you about $60-something billion to fight the apartheid. I mean, it's something that South Africa should rethink. They should rethink that, and I believe that they should be fighting the system, because it's controlled by the whites. The means of production and everything in South Africa is controlled by. So the frustration should be directed at the whites and not your fellow South Africans. You worship the whites and you come and fight your fellow South Africans. What's this? I mean, it's sad. It's sad.
What impact is this actually expected to have on African unity and integration?
This basically is like a clear blow on the fight for unity within Africa. Because if we are not allowed to trade amongst ourselves, if we should not have that kind of peaceful relationship amongst ourselves as Africans, then basically we cannot have peace. Because look at what is happening in South Africa. My brother stated that if we should retaliate, looking at the issue that is happening, let's forget about the businesses or the corporate bodies South Africa have in Ghana. If we decide that we as Ghanaians want to also sack South Africans out of our country, in the end we are going to be, enforcing the kind of division that was created for us, instead of fighting for free, borderless Africa. So basically, I don't see, where South Africa is driving at. It is one of the needless and the most rubbish moves ever. They should rethink their decision.
Their decision. Right. So this is actually from is it Kamaldeen or something? Right. So he mentioned that Ghanaians are actually not safe in South Africa, and in his warning that Ghanaians living there remain at risk and ongoing amid their ongoing xenophobic attack, where he says that although some areas appear calm, the overall situation is still disturbing and very worrying. And he explained that hostility towards foreigners, especially Ghanaians, Nigerians and Zimbabweans, is largely driven by claims that they are taking their jobs meant for locals. He is urging Ghanaian authorities to work closely with diplomatic officials in South Africa to address the situation and protect citizens abroad. And in response to this, the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has called for a full investigation into the reported xenophobic incident, especially after describing or a disturbing viral video showed a confrontation involving a Ghanaian resident, and that individual alliance has even been
the plan was to relocate him. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Recently, I saw a post by City that the embassy has, cautioned Ghanaians living in South Africa to avoid protest areas.
Yeah.
The situation is not coming down. It's still escalating. And South Africa, the president and the leadership in South Africa should, take a keen interest in this. They should call the people to order.
Yeah. This is also from the Deputy National Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, Kamaldeen Abdullahi. He's calling for a stronger continental response to reoccurring xenophobic attacks targeting Africans in South Africa. So according to him, the issue must move beyond bilateral engagement and be addressed collectively through the African Union to achieve a lasting solution. And his remarks comes amid renewed concerns over attacks on foreign nationals, including Ghanaians, which have prompted diplomatic engagement. And Ghana's minister has described the incidents as unacceptable and is assuring that government remains committed to protecting Ghanaians abroad. He emphasized that the ministry will continue to engage South African authorities to ensure the safety and dignity of citizens. However, they believe that a broader approach is needed, and they are urging African countries affected by the xenophobic attacks to come together under the African Union to collectively address the issue. He argued that coordinated dialogue and policy action at the continental level could help prevent recurring tensions and strengthen unity across Africa. So after all these engagements, if we don't see any improvements, what's next? What's the next recommendation?
You see, the Western world will be laughing at us when they see
Of
things
course.
like this. Recently, the president at the UN General Assembly meeting, rose, yes, and we even filed and voted for and won seeing slavery as the greatest crime to be to be committed to humanity, and we won this at the UN level, where we saw competing with how do you call it, the UK, the US. You get me? So all these achievements have been made, and Africa is now seen like pushing something good. And today, this is happening in South Africa. And South Africa is one of the African countries that is seen as a tourist destination.
Yeah.
People go to South Africa a lot. Cape Town, these are guys go there, they go there to have fun and all that. And all this is contributing, is giving these people money. So is it that they are stopping people from coming to South Africa?
Is that not them rather retarding their country from growth?
That is exactly it. And you see, these people are so dumb and they don't think about all these things. They don't consider all these things. I don't know if they think running a country is only like is running a country is done by indigenous alone. There's this saying in tree that they all want a boo mine, and I said they all want and the says you crew. To it means foreigners comes to do what? To develop your country for you. That is what we see, and this happening. You get me? And this is the time African countries need to rise, because we are all looking at. We've started with West Africa. We all see the way United West Africa is now these days. We are looking at what? Extending it to the whole of Africa. We are just hoping and praying that a day will come that we all have a single economy. We all have a president. Just so what? We can move collectively and fight for our own. Not today. And you see, it is so sad. When you are talking about this, you cannot attribute it to everyone. Because it is just a group of people that are doing it. And for the fact that they are so brave enough to even put camera on themselves and record it and come and post it online. Expect what? Applauds? No. We cannot applaud you for this act. We cannot applaud you for this act. And for that matter, the South African government needs to rise. The whole Africa is rising against this act. Because Africans, we know ourselves to be very accommodative, regardless of anything. And crime is crime. If you are a foreigner and you move to any other country and you do otherwise, you are supposed to be dealt with the law over there. There is no exception to a foreigner. So if you claim these guys are doing whatever social vices that you claim, and they need to be apprehended, you need to question your system. Today Ghana, when you get to the streets at night, you see all these ladies that are
most of them are
you get me. And we don't want to mention Eka, but we all know obviously where they are coming from.
But we are allowing them to trade freely with our men.
And you see, this is not. We shouldn't start attacking these ladies on the street.
Yeah.
There is an organization or there is a system that need to check all these things.
Yeah.
These are the people that we need to be checking. We need to start calling the Ghana police. We need to start calling our national security. We need to start calling the Minister for Interior.
Maybe the enforcement hasn't been that effective because we have these human trafficking as part of our laws that is not accepted. So the enforcement has been the problem.
Exactly. These are system. This is a system problem. We can always put ourselves to check. This is a system problem. So they should stop this barbaric artness, and it will not take us. It will not take them anywhere. It will not solve anything to them. It will not bring end to the hunger they think they are good. It will not bring end to the hardship.
You know, I mean, they appear as though they are that educated, intelligent people, but some of these things are so dumb on their part. They are very irrelevant. They are dumb acts, and it must be condemned with all the force that we can or we have. Because look, South Africa plays, you know, key role in terms of, you know, African unity, right? South Africa is a country that, I don't know whether because it's some level of dominance, there's some level of dominance by the whites in there. That is why the country is some way. But it has a very significant position to help Africa. So there's no justification. These things that they are doing is very needless and irrelevant. We must come together as Africans. We must come together. That's why I like that was his name. The man they just jailed recently.
Lumumba. So what's it? Is it Sino Lumumba?
No, the EFF leader.
I've seen it.
I just mentioned his name here.
As if I'm forgetting his name.
So the man is a great man. I mean, he's been fighting for that African unity for a very long time. It's just unfortunate that EFF hasn't, you know, gotten the power to rule. Julius Malema. To rule South Africa. It's unfortunate.
He's in jail now for 5 years.
I think so. I saw it was 5 years.
So what would be the lasting solution to this particular xenophobic attack? Would it be the mindset of the people?
You see, the fact that South Africans, they see themselves as inferior, even within South Africa. They see some as white South Africans, and they see black, and they see some as black South Africans. So this alone is a mental problem. This is what Kwame Nkrumah spoke about. Neo-colonialism. This is what is happening there.
So they need to be educated.
They've been psyched.
They have been educated.
The
only thing is that,
or could it be that they're actually not aware?
The apartheid regime has affected them.
You know, these are the things that happened during the
black
South Africans.
There was
this white South Africans.
There was this political disenfranchisement where black South Africans are being excluded from the voting register.
Very well.
You understand? There were laws that were being made to, you know, treat white South Africans different from black South Africans. And in terms of labor, the black South Africans are those doing the hard labor and the kind of stuff. You understand? And if you look at employment too, you know, when there's competition, white South Africans are being, you know, given priority over the black South Africans. And so this is something that the whole of Africa came together to help them fight. And today the levels of it has, you know, diminished, or it has decreased. But look at the stance they are taking now, especially the black South Africans. Of course, it's not, we have not seen any white South Africans involved in this. It's the black South Africans.
It's just the blacks.
So we believe that they are still struggling to identify themselves. They are still struggling to understand what the problem is. And the problem is basically the fact that the system is controlled by the whites. So the black South Africans, they do not have the opportunity of giving themselves a better life. They do not have the opportunity in terms of the means of production. They are not given, you know, the advantage position in the economic activities of the country. That is why they are crying. But is this the right way to go? No. Basically, this is not the right way to go.
We are just hoping that in the coming days we actually hear something better. Because as it stands now, one particular country that I don't want them to rise.
They should engage them.
Which is actually Nigeria. Because for them, they're almost fine chill. Immediately you fool with their people, they are coming for you.
I mean, in this particular attack, Ghana has done better than Nigeria.
Nigeria.
We have stood up for our people.
But I think Nigeria, you haven't heard anything.
One thing about Nigerians is that they are able to fight for themselves wherever they find themselves.
Wherever they find themselves. That one day, you can't take that from them. But if they should strike right now, it's going to be a different issue. Maybe this will be different from Iran and Israel. So we are begging them.
I know they are praying it shouldn't happen again.
We are just praying that it doesn't happen. Right. On that note, we are closing on that particular topic. We are moving to our next topic, and this is from President John Dramani Mahama. He says Ghana's economy rebounding, investment rising. He says Ghana's economy is recovering with growing investor confidence and increased business activity. According to him, the government is focused on creating a strong investment environment by working closely with the private sector to drive growth, job creation, and shared prosperity. He highlighted key policies that is actually allowing this economy to grow and for us to see more growth. The 24-hour economy policy, which he said is set to boost productivity and employment, and also the accelerated export agenda to promote value addition and reduce reliance on raw exports. Major initiatives like the Big Push Infrastructure Program, the Jumera and free primary health care. He also pointed out to improvement in the economy, noting that Ghana's GDP has surpassed $100 billion and the country has moved up in Africa's GDP rankings. Debt levels are becoming more sustainable and both foreign and domestic investments are increasing. He added that government is committed to fiscal discipline, reducing waste and improving transparency, including the use of technology like AI in revenue collection. So this is from President John Dramani Mahama, that our economy is growing. We have recovered, or let me say that we are on a recovery stage, and then due to that, investors are actually having confidence to actually come and invest into a country. But the question I'll ask is, are we actually feeling the impact of the economic recovery? I'll begin with you, Mr. Isaac. Sorry, Abdul.
Okay, so thank you very much. The statement made by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, that the economy of Ghana is rebounding, is not supported by what the system is experiencing.
Why do you think?
Basically, an economy that is rebounding, right, should not be selling pure water for 1 cedis.
Who is selling pure water for 1 cedi?
In some areas.
No.
Please, let me make my submission.
Pure water for 1 cedi.
People are selling pure water 70%. People are selling it for 1 cedi in this country.
No, I've not bought pure water for 1 cedi.
Yes, you have.
I've not even bought for 70%.
In some areas, I tell you for a fact that people are selling pure water for 70% and 1 cedis in this country. So a rebound, an economy that is rebounding, should not be that same economy that is impoverishing the farmers. Today we have farmers who have farmed and they have gotten the produce. It is left in their stock to rot. Cocoa farmers have not been paid despite the fact that we have a rebound economy. Beans farmers, they don't have a market for their produce. Rice farmers, no market for their produce. Our farmers are crying. There's no market for their produce. So how is an economy that is rebounding not able to cater for the farmers? The backbone of the economy. How is that rebounding? An economy that is rebounding is not able to pay teachers. An economy that is rebounding is not able to, the issue of automatic posting. President Mahama promised that when he comes into office, he will, he will revitalize the reposting. He's in office today. Has he done that? No. Graduate college students are crying. An economy that is rebounding is not able to pay for their nurses, the salaries of workers of the country. How is that economy rebounding?
So in your words, you say that you are not feeling the impact of the economy.
We as Ghanaians are not feeling the impact.
Can you tell why?
Because the economy is managed in a way that does not reflect. I mean, the impact that is so much touted is not seen in the economy. Today, if you go to the market, go to Malata market and ask the traders, there's no market for their goods. They are only coming to see what God will do for them for the day. There's no market, there's no, the economy is not moving. You have inflation at 3% or so.
Yeah, 3%.
3%. Yet you have prices of goods increasing. How is that economy rebounding? Today, fuel is increasing every day. With economy rebound, a rebound economy.
When last did you see fuel price increase?
Fuel, have you been buying fuel?
No, I'm
Remember us come I bought fuel. Have you been buying
and
fuel?
it has increased.
Yes. Yesterday it was around 1 liter was around 13.5 or so. Today it's around 13.57. Is it not an increase?
20 pesos.
No. That's an increase.
20 pesos.
What do you mean by that? I said 13.57.
And now it's 13 points. First, you used to buy for 13 points. What?
So first, it was around 13.20, right?
20.
Before 3 days ago, it was 13.20. Today, if you go to the pump, 13.57. A liter of fuel. Is that not an increase?
So that's an increase of how much pesos?
An increase of over 3.7%.
Pesos.
Yes.
30 pesos.
But you see, an increase in an increase. Let's understand that.
We
right?
Agree.
Yes. So we are saying that the economy is not rebounding. We have to stop the antics and the optics. It is not rebounding. Unless, of course, you are telling me that, it is of no use that our farmers should have their, goods being sold. And I tell you for a fact, under Akufo-Addo, right? Under Akufo-Addo, farming had moved from, farming to feed the house or the family to a large-scale commercial farming, where farmers are farmed or farmers go into farming to farm, get the produce for large commercial purposes. They sell, make money, and they build houses. If you come to the north, under Akufo-Addo, farming was one of the most profitable business. Today they are there, they are rotting. Go to Fumbisi market, the rice are there, rotting. Beans are there, rotting. Soya beans, everything.
So we are going to blame the government.
But government has a responsibility to take a very keen interest in what goes on in the agri sector.
What should the government?
And given that they bought fertilizer at a very unreasonable amount to go and support the crops to grow and yield produce for them. At the end of the day, you cannot even get the money that you used to buy the fertilizer. Neither to talk of the money that you use to pay the tractor and the laborers that worked on the farm. So we are basically killing our agri sector, and that is going to lead to a lot of importation. Because basically we'll have to import instead of helping and that is why we came with the one district, one factory policy. And the intention was that the one district, one factory, we established some rice processing plant in Savulugu, that is expected to process the rice. Instead of just, basically selling it raw like that, you have to process it into some level of finished goods. And that is what the vision of President Akufo-Addo was about.
Right.
You came into office and basically you have shut down the one district, one factory. The trade minister, I don't know, what's her name, she came to tell us that as of today, in parliament, that as of today, there is nothing like one district, one factory. You just collapse a visionary policy like that. They said they were coming to do the, what's the name? Agenda 111, that they were going to do 10 of them. Up to now, not even a single one has been completed. They are over 15 months in office. This is not the economy, and that is why we have nurses seated in the house. A rebounding economy that told us that they were coming to employ over 50,000 Ghanaian people into the Ghana Education Service. Throughout 2025, not even a single person was employed in the education sector. In GS, not even a single person. It was now in 2026 that they came to give clearance for only 7,000 after promising Ghanaian people 50,000. 7,000. Is that a rebounding economy? An economy that is rebounding cannot even employ its youth.
Right. Mr. Zamani.
Is my time up?
Yes.
Opposition is easy. This job, it be difficult, Rob. Oh my God! You see, it's so how do you call it? Hilarious the way my brother is making his points, trying to like, make it look like their government actually did some good work. He made reference to Agenda 111. He made reference to one district, one factory. Hey, I'm from Jama North District. I'm here to see the factory.
All right.
I'm sure in his own district he's here to see a factory there. So if it's about those comparisons there, don't go there. When he says sloganeering, your government is best at it. Agenda 111, you gave yourself timeline that you were going to start and complete all of them. Before you left power, not even one hospital was operational.
It's a lie.
So don't go there.
It's a lie.
Before you left power, which hospital was taking?
There was
patients?
a hospital that was handed over.
Before you left power, which hospital took patients and even gave drugs? Which hospital can you tell us that?
Can you imagine? Something that they handed over to Ministry of Health.
This is an Agenda 111 hospital. For that matter, I know these patients that visited the hospital has been taken care of. You see, Ghana's economy today is being clapped for at the world market. Today, IMS is clapping for our finance minister, our able Atufosen. IMF is clapping for him. And what is the reason? That the way they saw Ghana's economy so choked in the gutter, they never imagined that we were going to come out of it with this ease. I'm telling you, an economy that saw businesses running away from Ghana. We were in this country when we had global food.
Yeah.
And then
Game.
Other companies were running away.
Game also left.
Yes, they were all running away
because of the
Ghana.
taxes.
What were the reason? Because of how you were mismanaging our economy. At a point, you were taxing betting companies and taxing people that are even taking the bets. We saw some of these betting companies leave the source of Ghana. So if today our economy is recovering, please. And you see, if you want to see that the economy is recovering or people are living good in the country, you look at the rate at which people are marrying. I'm telling you. You look at the rate at which people are married. Almost every weekend I get invitations. Almost every weekend. And you see, most of the invitations.
By doing the previous administration to people getting married.
You see, most of the invitations come from these people, the opposition guys. I'm telling you, most of my friends are getting married. You see,
so the economy is good. People are getting married.
Yeah, they are getting married anyhow. And you look at the rate at which people enjoy when it comes to our festive season. We just celebrated Easter. Look at Kwewu. Excellent. Gomwa A+. Organized a very nice festival there. And you see people were choked in all these places. Clearly showing that words. People, Ghanaians are seeing hope now. And if the economy is not good, are you going to get an investor to invest in such programs like this? No. Today, let's look at our debt to GDP ratio as compared to what was left to us. The economy is rebounding. Let's look at our exchange rates to the major currency. What is the dollar selling to the city today? Let's look at all this. And if you sit here and tell us that people in the market are not getting buyers for their produce, I tell you that is factually untrue. Today, what is the rate at which the prices of food goods are rising? They are on a slow pace. It is not a time where you go to the market to go and buy this water for 1 cedi, and the next time you go, you are contemplating if you are going to get it at the same price. That was what was happening in the previous government. You go today is 1 cedi, tomorrow you go is 1 cedi 20 pesos. But today prices are stable. You go to the market and you can budget. You know that if you go today and it is 1 cedi, tomorrow you go, it is the same 1 cedi. He made mention that what pure water is being sold for 1 cedi here. You see, when we get the opportunity to speak, people are in the house listening to us. Immediately he said pure water is 1 cedi. I just picked my phone and I sent one guy to go and buy 1 pure water and put it in the fridge for me. And you know how much he bought? He bought it 50 pesos. But you are here telling us that pure water is being sold 1 cedi. I can show you the message. He bought it 50 pesos. So if we get the opportunity, let's not make it look like our economy today compared to what the people left is not doing good. Today Ghana economy is doing fantastically well because we have
a working and a very good person, someone that knows what he's doing at forcing. I clap for the man so well.
Look, even Google
I
is aware.
clap
In some
for him
areas
so
in this
well.
country, pure water is sold
I
for
clap
1
for him
cedi.
so well.
Look,
See, there was a time in this country.
I just checked it.
There was
My
a
brother-
time in this country
My brother.
You let him finish.
where a finance minister, his own party people were looking to him to be removed from office because of the way he was managing our economy. We were here when they told us that the National Cathedral will be built without 1 cedi taken from the coffers of Ghana. We saw individuals donating to the building of the National Cathedral, only for us to come and hear that over 50 million Ghana cedis has been taken from the national coffers just to go and build a National Cathedral. Today, have you seen that cathedral? No. Cathedral is nowhere to be found. Even the individual that saw to the disbursement of money is being looked for to account for what he did. He is nowhere to be found. And you say what?
Would you say that truly investors are actually returning?
Oh my goodness. My sister. Today everywhere you pass, there's some people are saying is Mahama is the hope. He is the hope. That is what people are singing. Today we can see what is going on. If your economy is in good shape, investors are automatically coming in. If your currency is gaining some good feet, investors are coming in. If your economy is devoid of domestic debt exchange program, investors are going to come in because they know when they come, their monies are safe. We saw a whole Chief Justice money being cut off. We saw grown men sat at the Ministry of Finance picketing, only for the finance minister to come and quote Bible for us. What? Our economy is bouncing back. And for that matter, investors are so happy and they are ever ready to invest in Ghana. Businesses are coming in. If your GDP is stable, your debt to how do you call it, GDP is something good. What clearly shows that people will come in. People is an economy that people will want to invest in.
Exactly.
You get me? I am even looking at getting someone to the Bono region to buy some cashew, get some how do you call it, processing plant there. We are looking at getting some people in, and people are showing interest. Because one, we have a fertile land, and the government is doing so much with the investment that they are doing in the how do you call it, agricultural sector. Today, let's look at, we are not only looking at how do you call it, crops alone. We are looking at livestock. The Akuko Kitten program. Poultry. We saw how do you call it, birds being distributed to how do you call it, individuals. And a brother of mine that was able to have 50 birds. I think somewhere last week or two.